I want to introduce some people to the stage. Absolutely inspirational. It's kind of in accordance with the HMO theme that we've just had. Absolutely smashed it. Over 50 rooms, over 10 grand a month in recurring revenue. All right, consistent income every single month. Who wants to know more about HMOs? Who wants to know more about HMOs? Okay, then, brilliant. So, get ready to welcome onto the stage. You know what to do, Mike. Hit me. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen, for Anne and Jeff. Anne and Jeff, how you been? Beautiful.
We are grateful to be here.
So we're going to get a mic to Anne. There we go. Beautiful. Anne, how are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here today. It's been so nice to see so many people who I don't know and seem to know me. So it is humbling. It's really good, and it's lovely to have spoken to so many of you. So.
Beautiful. So rent to rent. What does it mean to you?
For me, it means financial freedom, peace of mind, hard work, being relentless. Yeah.
Jeff, what does it mean to you?
For me, rent to rent is self-autonomy and freedom, and is also a door-opening activity to be involved in, and is an amazing entry-level way to get into property that's available to almost everyone.
100%. So, so Anne and Jeff, wow, this is crazy. So a lot of you will recognize Anne and Jeff because they help out a lot with the community, more senior members, absolutely for sure. And the value and the experience that they've got is absolutely priceless. You do Rent to Rent 2.0, which means you do HMO and SA.
Yep.
All the originals do.
Yeah.
For the original crew.
Yeah.
The original Rent to Rent 2.0, which is fantastic. But just for anybody that doesn't know you, can you just introduce yourselves a little bit about where you're from and what your why was?
Yeah, we started in 2019 learning about property, and I think for us, we had a whole. Would you like a story?
As many stories as you like.
Okay. Help me stitch this together, because it's the convergence of a few different things. Property is Anne's passion. About 4 years ago, I was doing my dream career as an artisan craftsman, doing woodwork and organ building for cathedral organs and colleges. And it's what I've done most of my working life. This is heavy labor. This is heavy, hard labor. It's something I'm very good at and talented at, and it's something I've always done. But the problem for me is that it doesn't earn you that much money. And what we used to do, employed as organ builders, is make up for that with overtime. So there we were doing like 60-hour weeks every single week, all year round, year after year. And for anyone who's done manual labor, which is heavy, you'll know what that feels like after a few years. It's cool when you're like in your 20s, but you start to think about, am I really going to be doing this when I'm 65? Right? So what I would do is I would wake up in the morning. We had two small children at the time, like two and 7 years old. I would wake up before they woke up in the morning, get on my bike, ride to work a 12-hour day, skip lunch, sometimes skip breaks so I could leave earlier. At 8:45, I'd be watching the clock at night, jump on my bike in the dark, cycle home maybe through the rain, and try and get there 5 minutes before my daughter went to sleep so I could put her to bed. And my son, being a baby, he was already asleep. So I literally only saw him on the weekends, right? I saw my kid on the weekends. And it's not what I loved what I did and was passionate about what I did, but it just caused too many problems in my life. At the same time, I was getting my financial education and learning about how money works. And I found out from Robert Kiyosaki that I was on the wrong side of the equation when I read his cash flow quadrant book. And if you don't know about the book, it goes through the 4 different ways to make money in this economy. One is big business, one is employee, one is investor, and one is self-employed. And when I left my job with the organ building company, I started up on my own. And so I all of a sudden had freedom of my time to do whatever I wanted because I was my own boss. Now, if you're self-employed, you know that you wear all the hats and you do everything. So I found myself doing the design work, the building work, the sales, the bookkeeping, the cleaning up, everything I did. And I was making less money than I've ever made before.
Never.
On top of that, Anne found herself in a very successful corporate position. She was a successful analyst for a pharmaceutical company, and she was ready to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything about that?
Glad I left.
Stress to the max.
Yeah.
COVID hit. It was crazy. During the first lockdowns, I lost my business because I lost my workshop, my office space. Company I rented from, they went out of business instantly. Co-work space, right? I lost all my clients overnight. All the churches were shut. All the college chapels were shut. So my customers disappeared instantly. So I was without my self-employed business. Anne was desperate to get out. And I was there one midnight, closing up my workshop, packing heavy machinery into my little car, stuff strapped to the roof. It was in the cold. It was in the dead of winter. It was in the cold. We had no heat in the workshop. The springs in the back of my car broke on the last, did you know that?
Yeah.
On the last trip back.
I can't think that again.
I broke my thumb on a machine.
On the last day.
On a power tool. I broke my thumb and it was freezing cold. I'm like, what on earth am I doing here? This is madness. And where will I be in 20 years? I'm not going to be doing this. I have no pension, no savings. I got no plan. And I written my future, which was you're going to work and work hard every day, long hours until you die. And I knew that.
That was that rock bottom moment for you.
That was it. Rock bottom moment. So I knew I was on the wrong side of finances. I knew I was doing the wrong thing. And we took that property training and started to put it to use. And we started a business during the first lockdown in 2020.
That's amazing. And just to bring you into that conversation then, so you've got a passion for property. You always have, right?
Yeah. My mom had a block of flats in Kenya, and every time we visited Kenya, we would just follow her around and just tag along.
Collect rent.
Yeah, just see her dealing with the tenants. I really enjoyed that, and she was just a beautiful human, and it was nice to just see how she's interacting with the tenants, and I just really loved that. I didn't think that it was drawing me into it anyway. So it helped her through her retirement, and it was just lovely to to just see that she can help someone else who's not even related to her. So I really loved that. And then later on, I was like, oh, actually, we could do that. And so we started looking into property. And, you know, during the lockdown is when we met you. And what you did for us was life-changing, because we got to a point where we were stuck. The property company that we were with, they were also shut down. You know, everything was locked down. The online systems weren't up and running already. And there was nobody to call to support. And you're just stuck and you're like, oh, I have a deal on my hands. Not sure which direction to take it. Do I drop it? What do I do? You know? And luckily you were there. And after a call, going through the contract, literally line by line, helping us understand how we're protected, what we're offering, how they're protected, and really understanding that this is going to be a win-win scenario for everyone involved was really pivotal. And from that first deal in 2020, after we landed it, at the end of that year, I was out of my job before I even got the second deal, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, moving on quickly.
We got her out of her job in the first deal.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. Yeah. It's mad because COVID seems like a long time ago now, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, same with Allah as well, sort of the same sort of wave. We you know, I started 2018, and then I think I had a good year. What year was COVID?
2020.
Right. So I think that it was mad for me because I had a good year of like rocking and rolling. I felt like, yeah, I've finally done it. And then lockdown creeped up. And then you would think that going into rent to rent around COVID would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Which in many ways it was. But then to the same degree, there was opportunities, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean, we regret not raking it in.
Not doing more.
Yeah.
Not doing more, because the HMOs, all the students had left. You know, Northampton has a university and many kids had gone back home. The properties were left empty. The agents weren't going into any properties. They were afraid of getting in. Nobody was maintaining the properties. If they were, you know, really dirty, just really neglected.
Yeah.
So that was our opportunity, because for a rent-to-renter, it's for your interest to make that property very attractive. And so that really helped us step in and fill that gap.
Crazy. Just a interesting point, and out of curiosity, if you had this, do you remember when it was like mid-COVID and you had like 5 tenants in a house or 6 tenants in a house, and that was cool? And then one tenant would want to move out. I don't even know if you could move out at one point. Who the hell wants to move out during COVID, right?
Yeah,
You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was mad. So the retention was really high. But then also, if you did have a void, it was really tricky, because technically you can't bring somebody into a household. There's already 5, 6 people in there. Did you have any complications around that?
I think we were...
We just broke. I mean,
we
didn't.
You just broke.
the policeman in the arm.
Yeah, we didn't follow.
I love that.
We didn't follow the guidance.
Yeah.
I was without a job. I lost everything. I lost everything by the policies. So we were hitting the road, doing viewings and everything. I mean, we had to.
We had to, yeah.
There was
Remember
no
that
choice.
rule? Do you remember that rule where it was like, I can't remember, but it was like, if you're a key worker, it was like, if you're a key worker, one person is allowed to be with one person or something weird like that. I was like, well, technically, I'm just helping one person. But yeah, that was a crazy time.
Well, we needed to provide people with housing.
Well,
Seriously, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a crazy time. And we had some houses which were completely locked down, quite a lot of COVID. Anyway, I digress, but interesting facts. So you've got the first deal, and you've got out of work really quickly. The opposite of Allah. So you got out of work, and then what happened next? And how did you scale?
Well, there really was sort of an organic scaling, organic sort of thing that happened. So our first deal involved a landlord who knew lots of people in property in the area, and those people were keeping an eye on us and seeing how we did. And one was an agent, and he was sort of testing to see if we would take care of that guy's property well, and he loved what we achieved. And they passed the word around, and we ended up getting deals off the back of it, really.
Yeah.
And we didn't even, I think the second deal came to us.
Yeah, the second one came from the first one.
Which is a very interesting one because that was a big 8-bedroom HMO, which was actually run by an agency on fees for the landlords, sophisticated landlords. And agency was having a hell of a time coping with it. The place was a mess. It was a beautifully renovated house.
Yeah.
Top everything, top quality everything. But half the rooms were tenanted. They'd had a sewer leak in the basement that was a horrible mess. Yeah. It wasn't dealt with properly. They weren't cleaning the house. They were driving the rent prices down to try and fill the rooms, so it was underpriced. It was an absolute mess. There were drug dealers living there. It was a nightmare. Agents were miserable, and so were the landlords. And that's what can happen when estate agents run HMOs. What we do is different. We're skilled, and we work with people who, we work with the tenants, and we take care of HMOs. We've got a financial stake in it, you see, because we pay guaranteed rent to the landlords. We can do uplift to the property that when it is needed in a way that an agent cannot. So we came in, immediately tenanted all those rooms, made sure the tenants were happy, put everything right, and we got that 8-bedroom, and then we got 2 more 8-bedrooms off the back of that one. So 24 tenants in like a year.
Yeah.
Just from that one.
Yeah. So, how's life different now then? What's changed compared to the very stressful pharmaceutical position? What's changed for you and your family, Anne?
We get to see the kids all the time.
Sick of them.
We love our kids. The time we spend with them, because we've been on the other side of asking someone, oh, can I take day off? Oh, the kid is sick. I need to be at the hospital. And, resistance constantly. So that's a thing of the past. We enjoy our time with them, enjoy our time, spend endless hours with Jeff, or with...
So such a beautiful couple, though, right?
Yeah.
It's important. So you get quality time with your relationship. What else?
Yeah, we have good relationships with our tenants as well, and as well as with our landlords, because we are sandwiched in between, and we have to make sure both sides are stable and sound and good. Yeah. So that really helps us because we've got the time for it, and just growing steadily. Business can be tough, but just having each other and of course your support is good. And being in a community like this, you're always inspired because you can see someone's day one and you're like, oh my gosh, like what's to come for you is amazing. You just keep going because we've seen the path. The difference between us is just time, and that's all there is. So if you're starting day one, just keep at it. Just do. Simon's put everything together in a clear map that you can just follow. You don't have to guess at anything, and the support is there continuously, consistently. So just go at it.
Good advice. Jeff, what's changed for you? Like, how does it feel like coming from that sort of rock bottom state to this, having all those financial goals and understanding the rich dad, poor dad stuff, and like, Where are you at now with it?
One thing that it has allowed me is freedom of time to study and learn other things in life and do other activities, hobbies, whatnot. I mean, I can peel off of work on a Wednesday at 3:00, take a train to London to attend a martial arts class that I like to attend because it's a great group of people that I train with. And I would never have been able to do that when I was employed. And to be able to fit, like, if I want to learn about like the history of money or whatever, I can do it because I have time. And being involved in a business that actually functions in a healthy way, like what we have now, we've learned a lot and are able to transfer these teachings to our children. Because kids don't learn anything about this stuff in school. You know it. They will never. And we get our kids involved. You know, they're there for setup for HMOs when we take on new properties. We don't pay them by the hour. They get a percentage off of the cash flow every month. They're not working for money. They're painting up the walls and stuff. They understand the concepts. So they're getting a proper financial education out of this too.
Amen. Who would want that? That's it. Yeah, that's powerful. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
They're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense because you have to think those things. Okay, cool. So things have changed. You guys are just you say this and I love this. You're feeding a family of 4 through rent to rent. Yep. Exclusively. Obviously, a big motivation for people is time. Yeah. You've got yours. How are you balancing that line between we're good and you're going to continue to scale? Like, how are you just like rationalizing that at the moment? And what are your goals for 2024?
Yeah, so we've got some things in the pipeline. I don't know if anyone here is in Oxford. Oxfordshire. Yeah, I've got someone who called me and said, "Oh yeah, they need 4 or 5 properties for 20 people coming in the summer, and I need to source those deals." So,
anybody in Oxford? And, I was actually thinking, because what's happening as we're growing as a community is more and more people are getting deals that they can't do, for whatever reason. More and more people are wanting deals. Some people have got the money. Some people have got the time. Out of curiosity, in the room, who's quite time rich? You've got loads of time, but not much money. You guys have got time, but not much money. Keep your hand up. Okay. All right. Look around. Okay. Put your hand down. And who here has got money, but not much time? You don't have to have loads of money, but on the whole, you've got money, but no time. Guys, in a minute, you got to connect. You got to connect. I'm going to get you to do that in a minute with a light on, because that's what this is all about. It's all about building a community. So over drink in a minute, find those people. Hey, I'm Amy. I've got money, but no time. What you got? That's as long as the conversation needs to be. Because just touching on Anne's point, there's a couple of things I'd love to do. One, I would love to have a bit of a sourcing sort of space, which is all the deals are analyzed by us, so they're safe deals and they're credible deals and they're solid. The second thing is pass the booking. Like everybody in the room, when you start building, people say, "How do you get direct bookings?" And what happens is you get some bookings, you build relationships, and then you ask the question, "Where else do you need accommodation?" And they say, "Oh, we're in Birmingham next." And then what we're supposed to do is say, "Hey, we've got somebody in Birmingham next. Can you house them?" And if we all do that together and that compounds, that's how we all win, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that I want to include in Circle. I think we just need to have some like pass the business and share the love. What do you think?
It's a good idea. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So life's different.
Yep.
What are the goals for 2024? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Yeah, well, we are doing a couple of things. We are needing to scale up a little bit because in order to grow our business at the rate that we did and fulfill all of our other financial obligations, we took on other people's money. So we used investor finance to do lots of deals, which was an amazing skill to learn. So like, it was great. We could scale way faster than we would have otherwise. But now it is time for us to pay down some of this debt. So to better answer Simon's question, we are balancing our growth with paying down debt. So we need to scale up a little bit, pay off our investors, and then we'll continue with those properties and use that excess cash flow to put down payments on houses in 2025.
Beautiful. I love that. And anything that you'd like to add to that?
I think the new thing is dealing with VAT on the SA side of things. So there's you think, okay, do I stay small or do I explode? So there's only one way to go, and it's up. Yeah. So
just don't stay in the middle.
Do not stay in the middle.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a very nice segue, because the final session of today is going to be about Rent-to-Rent 2.0, the vision for the future, and legacy. I'm going to get the iPad out. We're going to do some high-level stuff. We're going to be talking about finance. We're going to be talking about scale. We're going to be talking about BRR. And a very interesting point that Jeff just said then was other people's money. I bet somebody's ears pricked up then, right? Because I think we have a tendency to think, oh, we've not got the money, so therefore we can't do it. But I can speak on behalf of everybody at high level, and myself included, is that other people's money is essential to scale any business.
Indeed, yeah.
Especially property. And what we do is when we move on to BRR, we're taking other people's money, we're giving fixed rate returns, we're putting that into properties, we're then refinancing, putting the money out, paying down the debt, and then we've got the house for free. And that's something that we're going to be covering in the community in 2024. And a key thing that I think is often overlooked is that money is just one constraint. Okay? It's just one constraint. But just like knowledge, you can build it, money, you can get it. It's just whether your mindset is right and whether you're going to actually open the window. So, what I would love for Anne and Jeff to do, I've asked everybody to do this, is I think, Anne, you already gave an amazing tip, but Jeff, if you was just going to offer one word of wisdom for everybody in the room who's brand new, what would you say?
Okay. What I would advise you to do is to be really clear about what you want to achieve by writing it down and putting it physically somewhere in your house. And then from there, don't stop doing all the things that Simon is teaching you to do. Because in the time that Anne and I have worked with people, we've done some one-to-one training, we've done group training, and we've noticed that there is one commonality between all the people who've failed in rent-to-rent. And it's that they stopped. That's the only thing. They just stopped for whatever reason was in their head. They stopped doing it. And the ones who succeeded actually kept going, even if they had difficulties. Yeah. So just keep doing it. It's not complicated stuff. It's a lot of mindset and repeated action. And that's the good news, is that you can have it all, and it is your choice. Just keep going.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And final question to Anne. What about people that maybe have got one deal, they've got two deals, they've got three deals? Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are on is it 14?
Yes.
15.
Okay, 15. So how do they go from 2 deals, 3 deals, 5 deals to 15?
When you get one deal and you're like, wow, and then it happens, and then you get some time, and there's a gap, and you're like, okay, I think I can go again, and then and you just and being amongst people like you is like, oh my gosh, they're doing that, okay, I need to do that as well. And it's just a nice cycle that inspired continuously. And that's why it's important to be in a community where people are like-minded, they're all up to the same thing. And really, if even being here, I'm so inspired by everyone here because they're all up to the same thing that I'm up to, and I can see their path, and if they're ahead of me, they can see for me, and they can keep going, you're on the right path. So it's just being inspired continuously, and it's just that's what keeps me going anyway.
Amazing. Anna, Jeff, as always, it's been a pleasure. Please make some noise. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.